God, shit! Better be good from now on. It's on now.
We got some traffic, 12 o'clock. We're going to start a turn to the right here.
Tijuana must be landing to the east.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
That's unusual.
How are you for power?
I'm good. It'll suck. Drive it up there. Yeah. You have a tendency to fly a little step. There it is. Yep, you saw it. Right as I was saying it. You have a tendency to fly a little step down. There it is. Nice. That is a pretty airplane, man. I like the paint job. It's simple. Nice. Yeah, it looks good.
Alright, we're at 3,000 feet. We're just going to keep this turn going. We're going to start right into some lazy A's. We'll do, since we're in the left-hand turn, we'll do a down and left, and then we'll do an up and right. Here we go, up to the right.
Get that power in.
Oh, was he doing it lazy?
Up and right, yep, he just called it. There you go. Nice.
Alright, knock it off. We got somebody right in front of us. We're just going to level off here, and then we're going to start a left-hand turn. I can't see where they are.
Visual. 1 o'clock low.
Alright, we'll try this again going this way. We'll do down to the left and then up and to the right. Here we go.
Perfect. Your ball is centered. Nice. Good correction. Good correction. Perfect. Right there. Nice. Nice.
Alright, we're going to keep this one going all the way around.
100 knots over the top. That's good. That's why it was feeling a little mushy off for you. But it'll suck. It'll suck a little wide. Nice. You push it in there so nicely. And this reversal will put you right into position. Nice.
Traffic 12 o'clock.
Right, 1 o'clock high, no factor. 1 to 2 o'clock now, no factor. Very nice. It'll suck. Get it up there. There, nice. I thought he was going to turn right, and I didn't want him to start a right turn with you being sucked like that, and you corrected perfectly. Nice job. Traffic right 1 o'clock heavy south of the border. They should start a left turn. I don't know why T1 is landing to the east. It's kind of weird.
Smoother.
You're making this look too easy, man. Alright, we're going to level off. I'm going to cross you under. We're going to do the same thing on the other side.
A little sloppy on that one. Nice correction. Yep, good. You saw you were a little close. You pushed out nice and controlled. Very nice. Perfect. He's giving you a ton of work. This is great. What are you looking at?
Just checking instruments real quick here.
Okay.
Just trying to make sure I can actually do that. Doing that like low altitude, one mission cross check. He's maneuvering pretty.
It's really nice. That reversal was perfect. Jesus, very nice. You're definitely getting used to your plane quickly.
All right, wings level. Here we go. We got some sort of fast mover off our left wing. They don't look like a factor. We do an echelon turn to the left. This will be a 360 degrees. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Rolling in.
Just right. The tendency for most people is when the aircraft goes plan form, it looks bigger. So the tendency is for people to back out. Yeah. You didn't do that. Just accept that the airplane looks bigger and stay in there.
Yep, that's exactly what it felt like. I got full power.
The tendency for everybody is to back out. You didn't do that. And now you're putting the spinner on the horizon. Perfect. So you're making all the right corrections.
Sucks.
A little bit, yeah, I agree. And you're a little high, so those will correct each other if you fix them simultaneously. There you go. Now it's on the spinners on the horizon, and you're pretty much in position. So the reason you went
out in 3, 2, 1.
So the reason you went slightly sucked is because you were slightly high, and when you lowered the nose, it fixed both.
For a minute. Rolling out in 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, I was shielded. Was that a cross under?
Yeah.
If you can make it a quick one, too, so I can start a right-hand turn, that'd be great. All right, here we go with that right hand.
Can you make it a quick one?
Thank you.
If you're ever leading Phil around, don't ever give him a cross-under when you're coming close to airspace, because his cross-unders are super slow in control, which is great, but it can stress you out as a lead.
Rolling out in 3, 2, 1.
those rollouts and roll-ins, you're leading with power. Perfect.
All right, echelon turn to the right, 360 degrees in 3, 2, 1.
So he's doing 140. That's why it's a little more responsive.
Rolling out in.
That's why it's so responsive on the controls, is because he's going 140. And you're handling it really well, but that's why it's so responsive.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstick pressure because I'm not trimmed for that.
All right,
Yeah.
rolling out in 3, 2, 1. Somebody's zipping out here at low altitude. Whatever he is, he's a fast mover. We're going to track north here a little bit. Take you out the route. And we're going to start a left-hand turn here so I can get an eye on this guy. Alright, he looks like no fact. He's over Imperial, tracking eastbound.
I'm going to take this opportunity to switch tanks.
Okay.
All right. Like a good fuel switch. First one's coming off.
Yeah, no joy for me.
Yeah, he's no factor now. He's gone. Whatever he was moving. He was moving too fast. He just snuck up on me there real quick and wasn't happy about that.
That's a long way.
Yep.
Two's in.
You're at 130 knots, which is just right. That's 10 knots, 10% closure. You're 120 and decelerating. There you go. Yep. Don't hold it too long. There you go. You're 125, that'll work. Nice. $130, perfect. Like you've done this before. And you stayed on altitude really well considering you're on the inside. That was good. A lot of guys use that as an excuse to drop down, and you didn't do that. You stayed nice and high, at least the best you could. So nice. And he's doing 130. So that's why it took so long, because normally we do him at 120. I'll ask him next time. But
we can just note the speed. He should.
Well, he may change it for the next time, because these things are really sensitive speed-wise. So when he rolls out, I'll ask him.
Two's in.
Alright, we're going to track this way for just a minute here. Looks like we're indicating 120, level 2900, and all green. 2 check in.
Alright, 120 knots, all green.
Speed's perfect. Great altitude control. This thing has a lot better visibility along the side than this 6 does.
Two's in. do me a favor, press this button here once.
Okay.
13.5, press it again. No, it won't keep going.
You guys good?
Just checking something. Alright, we're doing a break. And you keep going now. Just go back to the main page. I didn't top off. So, I wanted to look at my fuel. It says 13.5 gallons. That's the volts, sorry. Boom, boom. 2's in. 24 gallons left. Perfect. Okay. That's equipped. That's about what we've got. 12 and 15. Tank 27.
As Dash 2, you could probably jump out on bearing line a little sooner.
Sure.
You're getting in within about 200 degrees or so, which is great. You need to be under 180 for the check ride. But I think as Dash 2, if you jump out on bearing line a little bit quicker, it'll solve that for sure. Because your bearing line control's perfect, airspeed control's pretty good. This stuff's easy for you for sure. And you're recognizing that the bearing line develops pretty fast, so you can't go wing level for long. You got to get that turn back in, and you just did it just right.
Do you want to see anything else?
Maybe a little trail.
Yeah, we're going to do a close trail next. I just, anything as far as the airwork stuff goes.
Jed's saying no.
Okay, this will be a 1-second break to a extended trail, and call in, and then we'll start the maneuver. 2.
That was 1. One's in.
He will most certainly do an aileron roll, so expect that. You do not have to follow him if you don't want to, but he always does. Yep, perfect. So you could choose to go up with him and get slow, or just go outside his turn, either way, and you did exactly that.
All right, knock it up.
2, knock it off.
Alright, starting a nice, easy right-hand turn at 2,300 feet. Let me know if you got me in sight.
Two in sight.
Alright, rejoin at your convenience.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you understand that it was a 1 second break, you're super close, out on bearing line, bam. You just saw that you're a little slow, so you powered up. Perfect. You're settling in really nicely. You're getting to know your plane. The corrections are all timely. You're starting to settle with the throttle in the right hand. You're flying beautifully.
All right, well, I'm good here. I mean, we want to RTB?
Yeah. We're good if you want to go back.
What's that?
We're good if you want to head home.
Okay. Stand by, getting headed. Alright, uniform is current, winds calm, 29er, 99er, 27 right in use. Kick you to route, give you a break here. Let's keep it coming down.
I tell you, the right hand, left hand thing is not a thing at all. You've already sorted that.
Yeah, my brain was getting a little like, fuck. Okay, let's get, so it's better now.
But it's already, I would argue it's already sorted. I knew it'd be quick, but that was...
position should be lining up my wingtip with my spinner. So it's a little more forward and out. So I should still be able to see you.
So, he's obviously correct. It's the normal bearing line up to the 3-9 line. And what a lot of us like to do en route is just to come acute, so that when he calls us back in, we can just slide back in. If you're on bearing line and out, you got to drive it up and in, which is not a problem for you in this plane. But in the Yak, we just don't have the speed. So he's right calling you out on that. Yeah. Yeah, he was right to call you out on that. But yeah, you sorted the right-hand, left-hand thing a lot quicker than I expected. Your brain has rewired, I think, or at least...
Well, we'll see what happens next time. But a little balloon went by.
It's kind of like switching from a standard rotate propeller like this one in a Yak, which is reverse. You got to use the opposite rudder pedal.
Yeah.
I switch between the A-Star and the Robinson helicopters, and it's opposite pedal.
Zoomer flight, push power.
2. Oh, he said push. Sorry. You just do what needs to be done with the pedals and with the controls.
Gillespie Tower, RV-412 Juliet, flight of 2 aircraft, south end of Sweetwater with uniform, inbound, request the overhead.
RV-412 Juliet, Gillespie Tower, or 412 Juliet flight, Gillespie Tower, right turn, pattern altitude 1,600, runway 27 right, report a 3-mile initial.
Alright, 3-mile initial for 27 right, pattern altitude 1,600, right-hand turns, RV-12 Juliet flight. Gillespie Tower, Archer 413, Charlie Alpha is over on Capitan Reservoir, inbound for touch and goes with information uniform.
RV-416 Charlie Alpha, Gillespie Tower, make straight in, runway 27 left.
That was for Archer 416 Charlie Alpha, confirming?
Archer 6 Charlie Alpha, affirmative.
Straight in 27 left, Archer 6 traffic.
Cherokee 042, runway 27 right, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go 042.
Runway 27 left, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go 27 left, how many function?
Center 622, frequency change approved.
622.
Cherokee 042, verify runway 27 right.
27 right, clear touch and go 042.
What side should I land on?
He didn't brief it, but you'll land on the right side. So rather than splitting it up by wind, like we did, they land on the exit side. So since he's going to exit left, he'll land left, you'll land right. Yeah. Whether we were hot, cold, or stagger, that's how it would be since we're a two-ship. Eddie's got a beef with that. He thinks we should be landing on the downwind side.
I agree.
And he's not wrong. Yeah, exactly. But a lot of these guys have been doing this a long time, and they like the way they do it. So we have to assimilate to them.